Can somebody maybe break down what they think a specified variable could mean? Raise your hand. Fred, go ahead.
The variable that they give you.
Good. Ah, yes, good. That's perfect definition. Usually somebody says something that's close to it, and I got to make you think about it. That's exactly what we're going for. Specified variable. This goes along with step 3. This is something that they give you. A specified variable is something that they give you. Why? Okay, think about this. Why do they call it a specified variable? Because your equation is going to have many variables in it. So we have to specify which one we want to solve, of course. Okay, question?
Okay, so, wait, I'm lost.
What are you lost on?
Those the words?
Yeah, these are the words, except I'm not going to write the definition for these words because you need to listen and just write. Because they're not very long and they're really easy. They're words you should know. Solve, find an answer. Specified variable, the variable that is given that you're going to solve. So solve and specified variable connected. Okay? You need a couple seconds? Okay. Now this is where this word isolate, isolate, this is the word that you got to know what this word means in order to solve some problems. Okay? Your directions will be solve for the specified variable A. Your directions could also say isolate the variable A. Solving for a specified variable is the same thing as isolating a variable. So Ashton, what would we say isolate means?
Getting the variable by itself.
To get the variable by itself, specifically, where's my marker? Specifically where? Get, we're going to say get, I'm going to abbreviate variable var, by itself. Where?
On the opposite side of the equation.
Okay, not even opposite, not Jimmy, good. Ashton, you got it. Somebody else said it too. Just on one side. On one side. And the reason why we're going to specify this is because sometimes we tend to think it has to be on the left side or it has to be on the right side or we got to solve it a certain way. It doesn't matter what side it's on as long as it's by itself and it's positive. Okay? This is a star for the top of your paper. When I give you these little stars, these are just little reminders and rules that you need to follow. If you break these rules, your answer's probably going to be wrong. Okay? We want to keep variables positive. Keep variables positive. Star, keep variables positive. So that brings us to literal equations. Why do we have to specify a variable? Why do we need to know how to isolate a variable? Because literal equations, what we're dealing with today, these are equations with many variables. Okay? Equations with many variables. EQ with many variables. And you'll get used to my abbreviations. And you can abbreviate however you like on your notes. I want you to have a code for yourself. Develop a code for yourself. Develop a culture for how you write. Okay?
Base 2.
Okay. What is the important information in that little paragraph, that word problem right there? Sequoia, give me one piece of important information. And what is the formula for area?
Half height times base 1 plus next to.
Okay. And then what is the other piece of important information in there? Kivana.
You got to solve for B2.
Good. We got to solve for B2. Okay? We got the problem. We understand what we're solving for. Does it matter? One second. Does it matter what H is for? Does it matter what H stands for? Does it matter what B2 stands for? Is that other information in this problem important? Besides this equation and besides the fact that it says solve for B, nothing else is important, right? So even if you're unsure of how to read, even if you're not that good of a strategic reader, you can look at this and see the formula and see that it says solve the formula for B2, and that's all you need. You got that, you know what you're solving for, you know the equation you're solving from, and you're done. That's it. Step 1, step 2, check, check. Question?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to write it down?
Oh yeah. If I write it on the board, you better be writing it down. And if I tell you to star something, you better write that down too. Okay? And if you don't, then, I mean, that's your choice. We talked about developing a culture of choice and awareness in this classroom. If you don't, that's your choice. But if you ask for my help and you don't have your notes, then I'm probably not going to really be able to help you that much. But if you don't want to help yourself, then I don't really want to help you. Okay? So, we're solving for B2. Now, we look at this, and it might look a little tricky. Nick, do these little numbers down here really mean anything? Mathematically? No, they don't. They just tell you what, Fred?
We got two different bases.
Good. It just tells you we got two different bases. Like, if I said, if there were two Johns in this classroom, I could be like, all right, you're John 1, you're John 2. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't change anything. All right, just makes it easy. It's funny because yesterday in my 5th block, I got John 2 in my classroom. I got a kid named John, I got a kid named John 2, so I was making that joke all day. It was good. All right, so the first thing we want to do, tough crowd. All right, the first thing we want to do, what do you think is the first thing we want to do? What do you think? I'm going to give you a rule.
Multiply.
Multiply what?
By 2.
Okay. Good. Okay. The rule for this is, he said multiply by 2, and he's exactly right. The rule for this is you work, star, rule, new rule, work from the outside in. We work from the outside in with literal equations. Okay? If this was a multi-step equation like in the warm-up, we would be distributing. Right? We would multiply this by 2, and then we would be distributing. Okay? But we are working from the outside in. That's star number 1. Number 2, with literal equations, we will not distribute. I will not distribute. Sign it in blood. We're not distributing with literal equations. Okay?